Welcome back to the channel, guys. In the last few videos, we've created all the services on AWS to facilitate microservices with ECS Service Connect. In this video, we're going to go through how to use GitHub Actions to automate deployments to AWS when we want to update the code for our ECS services. This is called continuous deployment, commonly abbreviated as CD, part of a CI/CD pipeline. We're not going to do any kind of CI, continuous integration, in this video. We're only going to focus on the CD part. So to do this, we're going to use what I said before, GitHub Actions. It's a production-ready tool that if you're using any kind of version control, you should probably be using tools like this as well to automate your deployments. It saves time, prevents errors, and creates consistency across the organization. So going over the code, the big file we're going to be looking at is in this .github workflows folder called AWS ECS deploy.yaml. Now this file is going to look very familiar. Why? Because it's the same file we've been pulling all of these environment variables from the entire video series so far. We pulled all these names directly from this file. Search Connect Demo ECR, Cluster 1, Cluster 2, etc. We're actually going to use this file now to deploy to AWS. That's why we had to make sure all these names lined up, because this is the file we're going to use to automate those deployments. So we're going to walk through that file right now and kind of go understand how this file works. Because for so far, we've only done the first very intro part of that file, which defines the variable names. Before we get started though, real quick, you help me out a lot by subscribing to the channel, liking this video, commenting below. You can sponsor me on GitHub sponsors one time or Patreon recurring. Whatever you'd like to do, help me out a lot. Really appreciate it. Let's get going. Okay, so let's jump into the code. First file we're going to look at is the AWS ECS deploy.yaml in that .github workflows folder. Scrolling down, here's where we define when this file is going to run. Again, this is our continuous deployment CD file on workflow dispatch. This means we only run it when we run it manually from the GitHub Actions repository. Now, I also added options with pull requests, so you can run it automatically when you initiate a pull request or when you create a release. I have these commented out. You can add these in if you want and play around with it. But for this video, we're only going to do the workflow dispatch. We just name the workflow file. Then we have a few jobs. Deploy. The OS we're running to actually facilitate pushing to AWS is Ubuntu. We don't need all the Windows features for this. We're not doing any Windows specifics. So Ubuntu is a lot more lightweight and faster. That's why we're using it here. We specify our environment variables. Everything we specified earlier on in the video series, we specify here. We have our default region. You can change this to yours if you want. And the image tag. I'm using the github.sha. This guarantees that each time we push a new image to the ECR repository, it has a unique tag to it. You can also use latest, but this will invalidate the tag instead of deploying for each previous image when you push a new one. That's why I'm using the GitHub SHA, so you can have uniqueness across the image tags. Going on. Now we go into the steps. First, we have to check out the code. This is just a built-in GitHub action, nothing fancy there. Configure our AWS credentials. And we're using an action built by AWS and published publicly. And action, I mean a GitHub action published by AWS. And we have to pass in 3 different variables: the secrets.access key, the secrets access key, and the default region. Now you notice env, AWS default region, is just right here. But for secrets dot instead of env dot, these are going to be defined in the GitHub Actions secrets repository, which we're going to see on the web browser in a second. Going on, we log into ECR, again using an action published by AWS publicly. Then we push that image to ECR. We build the image and we push it, passing in a few variable names as well. Username and password, same as above. We only have to specify them once in the secrets repository, which we'll see. We're calling the steps login ECR, which we define right here with this ID. So we're referencing this step right here. And we're calling the outputs registry variable that's outputted from this action right here, this step. And then we're also passing in the ECR repository name and image tag, where the image tag comes from right here and the repository name comes from right here. Okay, so after we build and push this, then we move on and we fill in the new task definition. We update the task definition, calling the AWS Actions public GitHub action to actually push the updated task definition to AWS. We specify the JSON file, which we're going to download from the AWS console. It's going to be unique to your environment. We specify the container name, which is up at the top, and we reference the login ECR outputs registry. Same thing we would reference right here from this ID right here. And we specify the AWS ECR repository name and image tag, which we specified above as well. We do the same thing for task definition 2, except for a different JSON file, and task definition 3, but again, a different JSON file. Now, I have a note right here that we want to set the target group deregistration delay parameter to a lower value. Now, what does this mean? This means that whenever we push a new task definition and then subsequently a new ECS service, we update the service with the new task definition. It will create a new container with that updated task definition, and then we'll deregister the old container. By default, the deregistration takes 5 minutes. This is a very long time, and I don't recommend it. I recommend setting it to something like 5 seconds, because if you don't, you're going to spend a long time waiting for your new code to be live. So we'll see that a little bit later in the video when we're on the AWS console. We're going to reference that and set it. And I also put a little link right here where it shows you exactly how to do this in case you want to reference back. So in this part, we're deploying the ECS task definition 1 to ECS service 1 and ECS cluster 1. We just call this ID right here. Again, we're using publicly AWS action and referencing the steps task definition 1, whichever we scroll up, we see it right here based on the ID, the task definition, and we're specifying the service with the prefix cluster name 1, service name 1, and then the cluster. And then we have this parameter wait for service stability set to false. By default, it's set to true. The reason we set it to false here is because if we set this to true, then this whole GitHub action, this CD workflow, will wait until this ECS service 1 is fully finished deploying, meaning the new container is completely spun up with the updated task definition, and the old container is completely deregistered. Even after setting this deregistration delay to something like 5 seconds, it's still going to take a little bit of time. So if you set this to true, it will wait until this entire section is finished and then go on to deploy ECS service 2. Instead, we set this to false, so then this will run right after, and then this will finally run with no delay in between. It makes the workflow process much, much faster. That's why I have this set here. If you want to ensure consistency when your workflow file and actually wait for stability, you can set this back to true or just comment it out. That's up to you. So going back, that's service 1. Here's service 2, the only difference being right here. And finally, for service 3, we specify cluster 2 and service name 3. Okay, so that's the CD workflow file. Now let's go to GitHub. The first thing I want to do is specify the secrets. So if we go back to our workflow file real fast, go up to the top, we're referencing 2 secrets, access key ID and secret access key. These both must be defined. The way you do that is you go to the settings, scroll down to actions, secrets and variables, and then go to actions. Right here, you're going to do new repository secret. You're going to copy this exactly as is, paste it, and then paste the AWS access key ID that you use for your IAM user configured. The way you can get this is you can go to IAM in the AWS console, users, click the user you want, and here's your access key IDs. You can delete and create new ones if you need, if you don't have these variables already saved somewhere. So going back to GitHub, after you do this, you paste it in here, you would click add secret, and you would do the same thing for the AWS secret access key. You must have them both, and they must be spelled exactly as is. If they're spelled differently, you need to make sure they're spelled differently here as well, and here as well. Okay, so those are the secrets. You have that configured now. Now we can go back and go to the AWS console, and now we need to copy the task definition JSON files for each one of the task definitions. So we click here, and click JSON. Then we download the JSON. We can open it up. And where we're going to paste this is into the Service Connect demo task definition 1.json file in the top level directory of the GitHub repo. It's going to be empty when you see it. I just filled it in here to be able to push with the GitHub action, because you have to have a valid JSON file here for each task definition. But when you clone the repo, it will be empty. So after you download it, you go on and paste it and overwrite it here. Now, if you want to just drag and drop in here instead of having copy paste, you can do that, but you must make sure that the name matches what's right here. That's why I'm saying copy paste. So the names will be one-to-one. You don't have to do any changing with the names, but you can do that if you want. Going back, after you do that, you have to do the exact same thing for task definition 2 and 3 and overwrite the files task definition 2 and task definition 3. So once you have those 3 files overwritten and saved, you're going to open up your terminal, git add, git commit, and git push. So those new files are pushed to your repository. So you have those updated task definition files in your repository. If you don't, then it will fail because it won't have any values for those files and read them as empty. So you have that set. Then you can go back right here to the main GitHub repo on github.com. Go to Actions. And we're going to AWS ECS deploy, and you're able to run the workflow. Great. Now before you run it though, let's go here to app.py and Flask app2 app.py. I just want to make one little change here so we can actually see the change go live when it does. So we're going to say with mod, go ahead and save. Command prompt again, git add star, git commit -m, small mod, and then git push. Great. Now, one other thing I want to do before we run this workflow is I want to go and update that deregistration delay parameter because that's going to make our life a lot easier. So we're going to go back to the AWS console, go into EC2, scroll down, target groups right here. Select our target group. Going to go to attributes. We have this deregistration management right here, deregistration delay, 300 seconds by default. We're going to click edit, and we're going to change this to 5 seconds. Scroll down and save changes. Great. Now, finally, we can go back, ECS deploy, run workflow, quick refresh, click into it. Now we're going to let it run. I'm going to fast forward after this is finished. Okay, the workflow completed. You can see up here, succeeded now, and tells you how much time it took. You can go back and go to the clusters for Amazon ECS. And we see 1 pending, 2 running. We see it's updating right now, 2 pending, 1 pending. So we're trying to update all 3 of the services. Now, quick side note while we wait for these to finish, let's go to Elastic Container Registry. Remember we had the 1 repository. Now we have a second one, dash stages. Where's this coming from? Well, this is coming from right here, this GitHub action right here. This is not built by AWS. This is something built by another user that I find very helpful. What this does is it creates a second repository called dash stages with the same naming that speeds up subsequent builds of your Docker image when you're running it in GitHub Actions. Now, you might say, okay, this took 1 minute 15 seconds. What's the point? How much faster can we really get? Well, if you ran it again, you might shave off 10, 15 seconds. Not the end of the world, but when you're doing a big production project with a lot of requirements, a lot of dependencies, it can save a lot of time. That's why I use this custom action here. If you want to not use this, you want to just build it from scratch, I'm sure you can easily find a GitHub action that will build the Docker image, but I wanted to use this here to show you a cool trick or a cool GitHub action that I found very helpful. So that's why I'm sharing it with you here. And that's why you also see a second ECR repository right here. Okay, so let's go back, ECS. We see 0 pending, we see 2 running, 1 running, so it's done deploying. Great. That's also because we set the deregistration delay to 5 seconds. Before, if it was set to 300, this would not have been done yet. We'd had to wait much, much longer. Okay, with that being said, we're going to go back to here. We're going to go to load balancers, click into our load balancer, get our DNS name, paste it up here. Great. Let's check our route for get message. Great. And we see the with mod function. Fantastic. And just for consistency, let's see get message across cluster. Make sure nothing's broken. Great. So everything worked great. And we deployed our update very quickly and very easily. Now this video is a little long, but taking away all the setup that we did and all the explanations, it was very, very quickly. Once you set up the secrets and download task definition files from AWS the first time, then all you need to do is go to Actions, here, run workflow, and just let it run, and your code will be updated. And if there's any failure, you'll be notified if there's a failure in the workflow file, meaning there's some misconfiguration or some code error. You can see how this dramatically simplifies the time and chance for error when deploying the code and makes more consistency across your organization because you can all use the same workflow file to ensure there's no different consistencies if you have multiple ECR repos, multiple microservices, etc. Okay, well that's it for this video. I hope you learned a lot about continuous deployment with GitHub Actions. If you have any questions, leave them below. Respond as quickly as I can. I'm sure some other people will help you out if you need. In the next video, we're going to walk through Cloud Development Kit, CDK. This is like CloudFormation if you're familiar with that already on AWS, but instead of having to use YAML scripts, we're able to write it in our own custom programming language. I'm going to be using Python. We're going to be able to deploy the entire networking setup, the ECS setup entirely from Python code in a flick of a finger. It's very, very quick. Instead of having to click through and do all these different components and potentially have errors or potentially have differences if we're doing multiple different deployments in an organization, we always want consistency. The CDK script can be shared across multiple users in an organization to ensure consistency. It makes it much easier to debug and maintain. So we're going to see all of that. And in my opinion, it's the most powerful and most important video of this entire series. So stay tuned for that one, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot out of it. So as always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one.